All right, YouTube, it's time for some Democratic debate reaction. Politics is fun to watch. You don't have to trust any of these people. It's still interesting to watch them talk. Some people like to watch grown men pat each other on the ass and throw a ball around. I like to watch people verbally assault one another and call it leadership, which is why I watched the Democratic debate. And I was kind of let down that there wasn't more of a personal attack level going on amongst the candidates. At some point, though, they're going to have no choice because it's going to come down to the wire and they're going to have to differentiate one another. The first funny thing I thought about the Democratic debate is the fact that regardless of who you think won the debate, and depending on who you ask, it's Sanders or Hillary. Trust me, I'll get in more into that and some funny shit going on with that in a minute. The real winner on social media appears to have been Donald Trump. He picked up 40,000 new followers during the debate, which was about twice as much as Sanders did. He was in the number 2 slot for that. So that was hilarious. Rand was going the live stream route. He didn't set it up correctly, and so while he was like reacting to things and going about his day, I'm surprised he didn't take the fucking camera into the toilet when he was taking a shit. His freedom flush. He sort of tried to go balls to the wall and connecting with his fan base and instead failed utterly, which I thought that was very funny. Sorry, Rand, but you really screwed that one up. That was a real aborted failure of an attempted live stream. I did better on my first try watching the Blood Moon than Rand did. I thought that was very funny. But Donald Trump was live tweeting the debate, and everyone thought that was hilarious, including, let's face it here. People on the left may hate Donald Trump's guts, but he is fucking funny, okay? Let's just put it that way. Regardless of what you think about his policies, he's at least entertaining because he's going to say off-the-wall stuff because he's unhinged. He doesn't care what people think about him, so he's definitely the most entertaining candidate, unless you think Chris Christie waddling around generating his own gravity is funnier. As far as the debate went, there are currently 2 camps of people. The media and everybody else in the fucking world. The media said, oh, Hillary's big moment. Hillary alleviates fears that she will run an improper campaign. Hillary alleviates fears that she will not debate properly or something. She didn't get hardballed. Anderson Cooper pretended to throw her a couple of hardballs. Really, at the end of the day, though, most of it was giving her a captive audience to explain her rather strange views. I thought she did a terrible job. She came out on stage, and when questioned about her support for the Patriot Act, said, no, I think my vote was just fine. She came out and doubled down on her defense of the Patriot Act in front of a room full of left-wing Democrats. That seems like a bad idea to me. Now, every post-debate poll that was conducted, whether we're talking about the media that generally is friendly to the Democrats, the media that's more friendly to the Republicans, independent, underground, it doesn't really matter. Regardless of where you went after the debate to look at the poll results, Sanders won, hands down. He was the most well-spoken. He was the most on cue with issues. He had several of the most memorable moments of the night, including the "we're sick and tired of your damn emails" thing, which was a little bit odd, but he, in every poll, was judged to be the one who performed the best during the debates. Hillary Clinton was a very distant second. But if you read the news the next day, as many Americans who didn't even know the debate was going on did, you would think that Hillary outperformed everybody else, because virtually every headline was some permutation of Hillary's shining moment, or look how good Hillary did, or here's a sound bite of Hillary saying something witty that was probably planned in advance. No, telling you, as someone who pays attention to politics, as somebody who studied political science, if you watch these people up on stage, there were 2 people there that were not scripted and were kind of going off the cuff, more or less. Not all the time, but you could tell they had an original thought in their brain, and those were Bernie Sanders and Jim Webb. Chafee, why was he even there? Everything he said made no sense. It was a rolling disaster from start to finish for Chafee. I mean, he's the lowest ranked candidate now. Please, Just fucking drop out and don't embarrass yourself anymore. Mark O'Malley, everything he said sounded robotic and scripted. And also, if you watch the debate, I don't know if all of you did, compare what he said on every issue with what Sanders and Hillary said, and you'll find that he essentially, 9/10 of the time, merely said exactly what one of them had said in a different way. Very good tactic for somebody who's sort of coming in from a very, very distant third or fourth. Because you can't go wrong. If people are applauding for Hillary and you simply say what Hillary just said, only you rephrase it to make it sound original, oh, you're going to get a little round of applause for your effort. Well, there's no effort involved. Anybody looking at him can tell the gears in his head moving around were only moving around to figure out the best and most fluent way possible to rephrase what had already been said prior by other people in the debate. He went after Hillary exactly once. Sanders did very, very well. And you have to realize something. Here's what people don't appear to understand. This is the Democratic primary. It's not the general election. The fact that Bernie Sanders is too far left to gain any right-wing votes does not matter for his polls at this point. It does not matter one little bit. It doesn't affect him. He's going for support among Democrats. He doesn't have to worry about someone flying the Gadsden flag and driving a Confederate flag-covered pickup truck around with a couple of shotguns in back with 5 or 6 kids. He doesn't have to worry about gaining that vote. Right now, he's gaining the vote of young Democrats primarily, the young and especially disaffected Democrats. The Democratic Party has to worry, by the way, in this election. If it chooses to coronate Hillary Clinton, it has to worry, it has to run a great risk that because she is a pandering liar and because she has switched her positions on virtually every single issue, gay marriage being one of the big ones, the war in Iraq, the TPP, everything else under the sun, they run a great risk of the Republicans managing to get an outsider in there who's just going to verbally assault her over and over and remind her of her failures of moral judgment and point to the fact that, oh, well, you were all for the war and you were against gay marriage and blah, blah, blah. She would run that risk. Sanders doesn't. Sanders has been pretty clear on the issues consistently since the mid-1970s. He hasn't really changed any of his views. His views were, pinko commie at the time. Now it's, well, fringe democratic socialist, further left than certainly a corporate leftist like O'Malley or Clinton, but not so much further to the left than the core of the party as it would have been in the 1970s. I mean, Carter, I guess, would have had some things in common with him, some of the same end goals, probably a little further to the left than Carter was for most points. But it doesn't really matter. He's competing for liberal votes right now. He doesn't have to worry about the main election because he has to get the primaries over with first. This is what happens. The Republicans are all vying to see who can be the most Jesus-friendly, the most pro-war, the most pro-Zionist, and so forth, to try to get the support of all these little cliques and groups that compose the core of the Republican Party. Well, Sanders and Hillary and all the others, they're worried about Hillary wants the billionaire bankers and the corporations because she's the corporate bank candidate. Everybody knows this, even many of her fans do. Sanders doesn't give a shit about that. He's going for the youth, and it seems to be working. He's already degraded Hillary's support. Now, Jim Webb, I will say, he was obviously not nearly as well-spoken as Sanders or even truly Hillary. O'Malley is the best at oration that was on the stage, although, again, he simply parroted what other people said. Webb came off as a bit brutish, overly aggressive at times. I think we all understand that, although personally I didn't really care. I thought what he had to say really does represent a libertarian-leaning Democratic appeal. I can imagine that if somebody like Jesse Ventura were voting for a Democrat, it would probably be Jim Webb. It certainly would not be Hillary Clinton or Mark O'Malley or any of these other corporatists that were up on the stage. Chafee's like I don't even know what he didn't even make most of his views clear, other than, yeah, I'm pro-green energy. By the way, O'Malley ruminated on that over and over in totally different context. He's asked about Iraq. Well, green energy. He's asked he's asked about the TPP. We need more green energy. We need more green jobs. By 2050, we need to be 100% green. It got grating. And if I had to compare O'Malley to anybody, it would be to Jonathan Edwards, who, of course, disgraced former frontrunner for the United States presidential campaign. I believe it was it 2000 or 2004, challenging George W. I think it was both, and he ended up having an affair while his wife was was going through cancer stuff. So he was completely disgraced. But he was a smooth talker. Looked polished, looked well kept, and on the younger side, he looked stylish, sort of like a door-to-door salesman look, but that's the way he looked and sounded. O'Malley emulates that. Jim Webb is the Vietnam veteran, Secretary of the Navy, and so forth. He's got the foreign policy chops, but I think he should be on the other stage. He should really be running as a Republican. They would appreciate the fact that he was in Vietnam. They would appreciate the fact that he served in a military capacity. The Democrats don't give a shit. This election right now for the Democrats really is about, oh, well, the Republicans have obstructed government. We need somebody who can break their way through. Neither Hillary or Sanders really has an advantage over the other in that field because they're going to face the same obstruction and they're going to cause obstruction, the same as has happened for the last 6 years. So that's, that may be a major issue for them, but it doesn't weigh heavily on either Sanders or Hillary. Another big issue, immigration, specifically opposition to people like Donald Trump, the nativist segment of the GOP. The Democrats are vying to see who can be more friendly to minorities. Hillary, the Clintons traditionally have massive support among the black votership, but on Hispanics, I think Sanders will probably end up making inroads there. If I had to guess, I think Hillary will be coronated, unfortunately, as the candidate. But, depending on who the GOP nominates, I think she'll lose. I don't think you're going to see a Hillary Clinton presidency. At the end of the day, she doesn't have the capability to mobilize the kind of youth appeal, the Sanders-style youth support isn't going to flock to her. Even if Sanders says, oh yeah, I'm dropping out and I back Hillary Clinton. It's not going to work. They'll just stay home, or they'll shitpost on their iPads or whatever, as happened during the midterms when the Democrats got crushed. She doesn't have the necessary level of appeal and the strong, very far left track record to mobilize the fringe segments of the Democratic Party that in the last midterms largely stayed home. They lost hope. I don't think Hillary is capable of winning the general election unless she's up against somebody like Jeb or Cruz, some centrist corporatist candidate who really she'll have the polarization of issues in her favor, and the Republican side, like her, will not be mobilizing large segments of its otherwise large voting population. If it's an outsider, if it's Donald Trump or something, at this point, I think that Donald Trump would beat Hillary Clinton. I know that there are people who will say, well, that could never happen. He's a laughingstock and she's Hillary Clinton. Being Hillary Clinton in this election right now, it really is not an advantage. Last election cycle, yeah, okay, you're a Clinton, so naturally we're considering you a top-rung candidate. The DNC clearly wants her. Time Warner and all of these big Hillary backers that control most of the American media, they all want Hillary Clinton. But if you ask people who watched the debate, the Democrats that are mobilized, that are energized right now, are the people who watched the debate. The debate had far lower ratings than either of the two Republican debates we've had. So we're looking at a small core of very, very politically adept, likely to vote Democrats. We're looking at a sampling that includes a much higher than normal proportion of those that actually give a shit about what's going on in the United States. Whether you agree with their views or not, they're the ones that care. They all thought Sanders won. Very few of them thought Hillary outperformed Bernie Sanders. Very few of them support Hillary Clinton. They're all Sanders fans, and a handful of blue dogs that like someone like Webb or maybe O'Malley or Chafee's inner circle, their nuclear family will support them, and that's about it. Everyone else is supporting Bernie Sanders right now. If the Democratic Party ignores the populism of Bernie Sanders and coronates Hillary Clinton, I don't think they're going to win the presidency. I think they're going to lose to the Republicans, unless the Republicans likewise make the very bad mistake of trying to force a tired corporate centrist, somebody like Jeb, down the throats of people that are ready and willing to vote. They just need a candidate that does not represent the sort of Bush-era policies that have failed, that they know failed. And the Clinton-esque Obama-era policies, Hillary there, Biden, anyone in Obama's inner circle, the same is true among Democrats. There are a growing number of liberals that are disaffected with Obama's policies. They think he's too statist on some issues, not far enough to the left on others, pandering on yet more. For instance, on war. Saying, well, I oppose war, and he gets elected, and then all of these wars start breaking out. Well, people are starting to notice that on the left. So if you listen to the news reportings from yesterday, it was, oh, Hillary's great moment. What a great job she did. She's obviously the front runner now, and no major shakeups here, folks. But if you pay attention to the polls, you can see why the DNC is currently worried. Which, by the way, is also why the Republican committee is extremely worried that right now the two frontrunners are outsiders with zero political experience. One of them's black, and the other is a multi-billionaire. This scares the RNC. I'm telling you right now that these people are honestly terrifying these folks. They're scared to give up the Karl Rove policies, just as the DNC is afraid of shaking up its own policies. Oddly enough, though, it is when you have that sort of paradigm shift that one party ends up sweeping the votes, starts earning states that, hadn't gone for their party in 20 or 30 years. Look at what Reagan did. Look at what Nixon did. Bubba Bill. Bill Clinton won large swaths of the Deep South. Now, Hillary probably can't do that. She could maybe take Georgia. If she's lucky, maybe Arkansas, sort of the unofficial home state might go for. Other than that, she's got no specific advantages. She'd lose the libertarian leaning state. She's not going to get Nevada. She's not going to get Colorado or New Hampshire. She would have problems. Trump, oddly enough, in a matchup, according to the polling they're conducting right now, if the election were held today between Trump and Clinton, Trump would be taking states like Michigan and Minnesota that in the last election were blue by 10 points or more. So it's bad times right now for the Democratic Party. They're not energized. You can tell. Look at the ratings of their debate. Most people didn't even know it was happening. They didn't even know the Democrats were having debates. That doesn't speak well for what will become their voter turnout come next year. I don't think the Democrats are going to win this election. I could be proven wrong. It depends on who they nominate. And it depends on who the Republicans nominate. And it depends on what major issues stay, go, or rise to prominence in that period of time. But right now, it is not looking good for the Democratic Party. I will say that. Now, am I going to vote for the Republicans? No. Am I going to vote for the Democrats? No. At this point, there's nobody left there that I like enough to vote for. I'll be voting for the Libertarian Party. My state's going to vote for whoever the Democrat is unless there is a major paradigm shift. If there's not, there's my vote. Really, honestly, in some states, your vote doesn't count. Here in Vermont, it's one of them. California, Texas, someplace like that. No, my vote's not going to count one way or the other. This state will go heavily partisan in one direction or the other. There's nothing that I specifically can do to change that. If it looks like it's a 50-50 split, I might be tempted to vote for one of the major parties. Other than that, though, it's libertarian time for me. I got tired of the two-party system. It's just a bunch of hogwash. But as long as we're analyzing the debate, yes, Sanders clearly won. Virtually everybody appears to agree that Sanders won, except for those who are very, very rich and have already donated money to Hillary Clinton's campaign, because they're the ones that run the left-wing media in the country, MSNBC and Time and all these groups. They're all run by a bunch of very rich corporate Democrats. They love Hillary. They probably also want to suck O'Malley's dick, but they can't do that while they're busy pleasuring Hillary Clinton. That's about all. Peace out.